Hi, this is Imari from the Always Uttori blog, where we empower you to bring enchantment into your life through fashion, food, DIYs, and lifestyle content. Today, we invite you to experience our Et le Mystique theme brought to life. Inspired by the Goth Rococo color story from our Jumpstart Christmas video a few weeks ago, Et le Mystique blends the ornate feminine elegance of Rococo with moody Gothic undertones. This video is the final part of our series exploring DIYs and desserts inspired by this theme. If you missed any of the previous videos, check the links in the description box below. Now, with your invitation in hand, let's enter the world of Et le Mystique. We're starting with the focal point of the room, this beautiful mirror. Its dark color helps ground the theme in Gothic tones, making it the perfect centerpiece for the room. To dress it up, I'm adding a garland across the top. Each garland was about 3 to 4 feet long, so I attached 2 of them together off camera so that the garland would reach the table. To secure the garland, I'm using 3 command hooks at the top of the mirror. Now let's talk a bit about Rococo style. Today, Rococo is admired for its intricate beauty, but when the term first appeared in the 1830s, it was actually meant as an insult, describing outdated, overly elaborate art. In the story of Rococo with Waldemar Janezak, it was described as art that's shapeless and overloaded, art without sensible or logical boundaries. But what is Rococo exactly? It's a blend of 2 ideas, the French word rocaille, meaning shellwork, and baroque, meaning flawed pearl, and the design style that predated Rococo. Spanning from roughly the 1730s to the 1780s, Rococo is all about extravagant decoration, drama, pastel colors, curves, asymmetry, and nature motifs. Think shells, leaves, birds, flowers, fruits, musical instruments, angels, and chinoiserie. Back to the garlands. Each one came with battery-operated lights, so I needed a discreet way to handle the battery packs. I used Velcro sticky tabs to attach them to the side of the mirror, keeping the setup neat and out of sight. Next, I'm adding some anemone flowers I got from Joann Fabric into the garland. I removed the flowers from the stems and simply placed them within the garland. They should stick on their own, but if you're concerned about the flowers falling out, you could also add some wire to the flowers and use that to secure them within the garland. I was inspired to use anemone flowers by a garland I saw at H&M last holiday season, which was one of the earliest inspirations for this Goth Rococo Christmas theme. I loved how the bright white petals and bold black centers created a simple yet elegant look, with just a hint of unexpected Gothic flair. Since Goth Western and Gothic fashion have become more popular this year, I thought incorporating those elements would add a unique touch to Christmas decor. The Gothic design style originated in Europe between the 12th and 16th centuries, and while it was considered outdated by the time the Rococo era emerged, its influence remained visible in many European cities. Gothic style even experienced a revival in England during the 1800s, giving rise to what we now call Victorian Gothic. Although Gothic and Rococo aren't related by period, they share a love for ornamentation, elaborate details, and luxurious materials. For our theme, we're using black as a grounding color to keep the look moody and distinct, preventing it from getting lost in pastels. To give this garland a Rococo touch, we're adding pearls and faux crystal ornaments for extra opulence. I'll start by weaving a beaded pearl strand I found while thrifting throughout the garland. Interestingly, pearls were brought into fashion by the French royal family in the 17th century. Large cluster pearl earrings and pearl necklaces were popular leading up to the Rococo era. By the Rococo era, however, pearls took a backseat to diamonds due to the opening of diamond mines in Brazil, making diamonds prolific. The 18th century saw an explosion of diamond jewelry, which was often paired with pearls. While pearls were no longer the star of the show, they were often used as an accent and woven into clothing. Next, I'm draping a beaded garland to hang dramatically off the greenery, adding some faux crystal ornaments I've had for a while. Together, the crystals and pearls add some sparkle as well as mimic the popular jewelry style of the Rococo era. With the garland complete, let's move on to decorating the side table. To set up the table, I'll start with a floral arrangement I created in our Goth Rococo DIY video, which is where you can find the instructions for how to create many of the decor items we will be using today. That video is linked in the description box if you missed it. This floral arrangement fills the corner perfectly, framing the table and setting a natural boundary for the display space. Next, I'm adding a silver tray with gold handles. Mixed metals have been a growing Christmas trend, and our Et le Mystique theme incorporates both gold and silver, though we are emphasizing gold more. On the tray, I've placed a Rococo-inspired tea set I got from Amazon a few years ago, alongside a lovely silver teapot I thrifted. Silver teapots began being made during the 17th century, but became popular across Europe, especially with the upper class during the 18th century. While our teapot is quite simple, Rococo-era teapots were often richly decorated with monograms, crests, coats of arms, blossoms, asymmetrical shells, and scrolls. The handle was usually made from ivory or wood, and the pot could have a variety of shapes. If you don't feel comfortable drinking out of a thrifted silver teapot, it works well as a decor piece. I also have some small silver bowls that I thrifted that would work well for sugar or other condiments. Next, I'm placing a tiered tray at the center of the table, making it the main focal point of our dessert display. This tray also featured in our holiday dessert table video, which is linked in the description box. I'm not sure where this tray originally came from, as I've had it for years. To give it an upgrade, I added flowers on top by overlapping 2 hydrangea blooms and securing them with gold craft wire. I also filled in any gaps with extra greenery, attaching it with wire as well. This simple addition gives the tray a touch of Rococo opulence, perfect for our theme. To complete the tray, I added black dinner plates for some contrast and to continue our Gothic undertones throughout the space. To finish off the table, I added a masquerade-style mask from Amazon to bring a bit of sparkle. Masquerade balls were popular across Europe during the 17th and 18th centuries, adding to our theme's historical flair. Beside the mask, I placed a rustic Santa figure along with a Gothic-style candelabra I thrifted. I added black battery-operated candles to the candelabra. One of them kept tipping over, so I used a bit of foil at the base to keep it steady. Now let's move on to the Christmas tree. The tree is nestled behind the dining table, so I want to decorate it before setting the table. If you were paying close attention, you might have noticed a white Christmas tree reflected in the mirror in earlier shots. After decorating it, I felt it just wasn't working with the space, so I swapped it out for this black tree. With a Goth Rococo theme, a black tree might seem like an obvious choice, but I initially worried it would add too much darkness to the room. In the end, though, it created just the balance we needed to tie everything together. For a quick tip on tree fluffing, wearing gloves makes the process a lot more comfortable, and it helps to fluff each section before stacking the next piece. To give the tree extra height, I added a small tree on top. This one came from Target, but similar mini trees are often available at Dollar Tree, especially around Halloween. I've seen them in white and green as well. I used one of the larger tree's branches to wrap around and secure the smaller tree at the base. With the tree assembled, I added Christmas lights. For the tree skirt, I used a piece of black fabric to cover both the box I used to elevate the tree and the tree stand itself. Now it's time to decorate. I started with our tree topper and floral garland, both of which we created in our Goth Rococo DIY video. Since Rococo is all about the drama, asymmetry, and curves, I designed the tree topper to extend from the top of the tree and curve its way down. Feel free to make fine-tuned adjustments to get the shape just right. It was actually the part that took me the longest in decorating, but it's worth it. This topper draws the eye down the tree, becoming a central visual element. Next, I placed these Rococo-style bells, another DIY project, onto the tree. One approach to decorating a tree is to place ornaments in a pattern, especially if you have a limited number of them. I drew out what I was thinking on paper so that I could reference it while decorating. I arranged the bells diagonally down the tree, aligning them with the floral garland. After that, I added a ribbon behind the garland. I originally meant to do this before adding the bells, but forgot. The rose gold ribbon from Target also serves as a bow for the bells. To secure it, I wrapped one end around the garland's tip and tucked it behind in loose diagonal loops, using tree branches to hold it in place. Since the tree I'm using is a bit sparse, I used some of the baubles we made to fill in any large gaps, placing them deeper inside the branches to add depth and fill in any empty spaces. Next, I began adding our cameo ornaments, filling in the spaces left by the bells. From here, I just filled in the rest of the tree, adding more pink baubles, some gold bow ornaments, and some small gold ornaments. Toward the later stages of decorating, it can be challenging to stick to a strict pattern, so don't feel too tied to it. Patterns are a helpful starting point if you want more cohesion, but it's okay to adjust as you go. If you're enjoying this Christmas theme so far, don't forget to give this video a like. It helps more people join in on the decorating fun. With the tree complete, let's move on to the dining table. Did you know that we have the Rococo era to thank for the idea of a dining room? The Rococo era popularized intimate rooms for enjoying food on fancy plates over the banquet halls of times past. I'm setting my everyday table, which has a very Roman look with its central pillar. Interestingly, Roman myths were incredibly popular during the Rococo era, often depicted in ceiling murals and other decorative motifs, so the table's style fits right in. For the centerpiece, I placed a chinoiserie-style vase filled with blue hydrangeas, which I found while thrifting. The vase has been in my family since I was a child, but you can easily find similar patterns online. For the table setting, I'm using plates I made with Dollar Tree picture frames, another one of our DIYs. While setting the table, I wanted to share a bit about chinoiserie, which was a major trend during the Rococo period. As trade between China and Europe grew in the 17th and 18th centuries, European fascination with Chinese porcelain skyrocketed. At the time, porcelain was believed to protect against poison, making it highly desirable among the European elite. By 1710, Europe had learned to produce its own porcelain, and chinoiserie-inspired designs and porcelain figurines became wildly popular. These pieces reflected a freedom of imagination with a new art form. Although the style is called chinoiserie, suggesting it came directly from China, many of the designs were more of an imaginative interpretation of the Asian continent, as much of Europe's knowledge of Asia came from secondhand stories. To complete the table setting, I'm using black wine glasses that I bought from Off Saks a few years ago, along with a mix of silver and gold flatware. To top off each plate, I'm adding a plate topper, yet another Dollar Tree DIY that serves as both decor and a keepsake picture guests can take home as a party memory. The table setting incorporates our pastel blue colors alongside grounding black elements, serving as a bridge between the two spaces. For seating, we used gray wingback chairs. While this style isn't exactly period appropriate as it originated in 1600s England, it does add a Gothic touch. During the Rococo era, a few new seating styles emerged, including double sofas, lounge chairs, and specialized seats like desk chairs and hairdresser chairs. Rococo seating emphasized curves, asymmetry, and nature-inspired motifs. Tufted designs were common, and concave or balloon-shaped chairs became especially popular. To tie these chairs better into my decor, I added chair backs featuring Rococo-style portraits, another one of our DIYs. These frames are designed to hang off the backs of the chairs, but for the camera, I've placed a few of them in front so you can see them better. I placed our DIY wreath on a hanger in front of the window to complete the dining area. Next, I'm decorating a nearby bookshelf. Let me be honest, decorating bookshelves can be a bit tricky. It took me a few tries to get it just right, but that's okay. Don't be afraid to swap out pieces until it feels right. A few tips: choose a color theme, play with shapes and varying heights, and create layers by stacking items both vertically and horizontally for added depth. For the first shelf, I started with a wreath as a backdrop, layering it behind a thrifted angel statue. On the left side, I added our frosted window DIY, and in front, I placed some silver bells from Walmart to tie everything together. The middle shelf features a large black vase I thrifted last year, which continues the color theme. On the right side, I added a stack of old hardcover books. Here's a quick tip. If you're not a fan of the book covers, turn them around to display the neutral tones of the pages instead. Next to these, I included our chinoiserie-style decorated books DIY. I placed 2 gold fruits that I thrifted on top of the books, adding height. For the top shelf, I'm adding a Rococo-style girl to a picture frame I got from Temu. I incorporated a red vase filled with dried hydrangeas to add more natural elements and texture. I stacked a few more books and placed the Rococo picture on top. To complete the setup, I added a church village from Walmart, displayed on a miniature floral planter with beautiful scrollwork for an elegant finishing touch. Now that we've decorated our space, there are a few final touches. And voila! Now it's time for the party to begin. But wait, something feels just a little off. Ah, there we go. If you're inspired by our Et le Mystique Christmas theme with its Goth Rococo style, consider working with a pastel color palette. You don't have to stick to blue, pink, and black, but incorporating pastels will definitely bring that Rococo charm to life. If you're looking for other color ideas, check out our French lavender and seafoam green theme from last year. Rococo is all about creating a sense of whimsy, elegance, and intimacy. Whether you go all out or just add a few thoughtful touches, the key is to make it your own. Remember, your home doesn't need to scream Rococo to embody its elegance. Look out for Gothic elements, which are easier to find, and bring in Rococo flourishes with florals, metallics, and gold accents, and of course pastel colors. Combine textures, play with curves and asymmetry, and don't be afraid to break from what is traditionally considered Rococo. This theme really plays with the balance between Gothic sophistication and Rococo drama. And don't forget, it's not just about the decor. The heart of the holidays lies in celebrating life's simple pleasures. So whether you're hosting a festive dinner, enjoying quiet moments by the tree, or dressing up in your favorite Rococo-inspired fashion, let this theme bring magic and joy to your holiday season. If this theme inspires you, let me know in the comments how you would add a Goth Rococo touch to your holiday decor. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more decorating ideas and DIY inspiration. Until next time, from all of us at Always Uttori, we wish you a safe and happy holiday season. Enchantment awaits. Life is just about finding it.